You know, when I first joined YouTube, it was a very long time ago, and a different account. It was about 6,000 years ago, roughly speaking. There were dinosaurs and things like that all around. I was going to make educational videos. And I made 3 of them, and I encountered a guy named Nick Gisburn. And from then, I shifted radically. I identified with him. He was an atheist. I was an atheist. And I got into the whole atheist crowd on YouTube, which has grown tremendously. So I wanted to make my mark. And I thought, well, what better way to do it than with a contest? I'd looked around YouTube and I'd seen that that's the way to make your mark. I'd also looked around and seen what people were doing on YouTube. And I came up with a brilliant idea. 2 of them, in fact. One of them was called the Atheist Ad Contest, in which atheists would make ads to appeal to theists, and there would be theist judges. And the idea was to see how the perception of the atheists and the perceptions of the theists differ. Well, I went ahead and did that contest rather than the other contest I had in mind. And it worked out pretty well, but I got a lot of hate mail. I had to block a lot of people because this is this kind of highfalutin contest that people absolutely hate. Lots of atheists didn't get it. They didn't understand that the ads were supposed to be appealing to theists, and they made atheist ads which the theists hated, even though they were great for atheists. And like I said, people wrote terrible things to me like, "You're smart," or "You're intelligent." I had to block them, like I said. I mean, there were a lot of smart, intelligent people out there, and they were singling out me. Anyway, the contest went well, and I got like tons of subscribers from it. I was ambitious back then. But you know, I always wondered what would have happened if I had done the other thing, the path not taken. And that was based on what was going on YouTube at the time. Now, there's a lot of stuff going on YouTube just like that now, but then it was huge. It was girls like about, 17 to 24 years old who obviously didn't have a lot of other skills, life skills, no skills other than shoving their ass in the camera and shaking it around to music. And I enjoyed these videos. They're very purposeful videos. They are serving a necessary function. They're sort of like an exercise video. Aerobics, so to speak. But it occurred to me, they are getting tons of numbers. I mean, in the thumbnail there, what you got is this ass right there, and you know what you're going to get with some suggestive title. And I thought, hey, the people that are watching those vids, some of those are theists, but they're kind of crossing the board here. I mean, I heard Jack talk about pornography and all, and I figure, this is a ripe population for atheism. So I thought, well, you know, I kind of do the artsy stuff. That's just the way I am. I'm very sophisticated. And I thought, how about this? How about having some atheist chicks shove their ass in the camera, but instead of like just shaking it to music, you've got the music too, and everything else that goes along with that. But they will recite an original poem about atheism. I thought, this is beautiful. I mean, this is it. Now, I asked a few people about this because I was still deciding between those 2 contests. And I got some comments like, well, it's very sexist, it's a terrible thing. But, I mean, this is like the pageants that we have here, beauty pageants, they're the same fucking thing. But this has a purpose. And it's an original essay. They're not just saying, how would you change the world? And it would basically be talking about atheism. And you would have an audience. You would have people there just absolutely riveted. They might be distracted a little bit at times, but they might watch the video again and again. And that poem would come through. I also was informed that at the time, there still aren't a lot of female atheists. But back then, it was very sparse. So all the asses wiggling around were not atheist asses, and we needed atheist asses to do this. And of course, you couldn't really fake it, because people would know the difference. So I did the atheist ad contest, and it worked quite well. It was tough as hell. It took a long time, but there was some great ads, and I really enjoyed myself. But I always wonder, what would YouTube be like if I had taken the other path?